Today we'll work with our studio on a generated data. With this, we're going to use it for the filter and subset commands. So we're going to generate random data, and then we're going to do some simple filtering and some more complicated filtering. So let's see how it goes. So first, we're going to generate the data. So we're going to generate gender and city and payment and happiness. We're going to wrap all of them to a single data frame. It's called data. And then we're going to do the filtering. But before we're going to do this, we're going to use the set.seed function. So we'll be able to reproduce the function, the data. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this. We're going to grab all the vectors that we're generating, including the set.seed, and then we're going to hit command enter or control enter and run the functions and then generate the vectors. Now, after we have this, we're going to wrap all of them together to a data frame called data. And we've done that. And here we can see the data at the environment box. Here we can see a glimpse of the data. You can see 10 observations of the data. We can see we have gender and city and payment and happiness. And now we're going to start the filtering. So at first we want to start by generating a subset of London. So we're going to use the filter function. Effectively, we can do the very same thing with the subset function. Let's see how it's done. So at first we're going to hit control enter, and we got 181 observations from London. We can see that if we click that, we can see that all the observations are from London. Now we can do the very same thing with a continuous variable of the payment. So we're going to generate a new data set called data greater than 10,000, filter out only the payment greater than 10,000. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get 333 responses, all of them from all over the world, London and New York and Prague, but all of them have in common that their payment is greater than 10,000. Right? So now we're going to combine both of them together, and we want only the results that has both City of London and payment greater than 10,000. So this is how it's done. Now I'm combining two expressions, right? Two logical terms. So we're hitting control enter or command enter if this is on Mac, and we get 110 observations. All of them are either from London, both from London and getting and having a payment greater than 10,000. All right. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to engage another variable, happiness, and we want all responses to be from London with payment greater than 10,000 and happiness of 50. Let's do this. Let's see how it's going. So the very same thing, effectively control enter or command enter, and we got 101 observations. We can see those observations. We can see that all of them are from London. We can see that all of them are getting the payment greater than 10,000, and we can see that the happiness level for all of them is greater than 50. We're not going to find anyone here that is less than 50. We can see that we have less responses because it makes sense, because from this data set, the happiness greater than 50 term wasn't on. So here we're going to have less responses, which makes perfect sense. Now we can also use the filter function to find responses either from London or from New York. So let's see how this is done. This is data London or New York. So we're going to do the same thing, and we can see that we got 295 responses, which is greater than data just from London, because these guys are either from London or New York, regardless of the payment or the happiness or whatever. We have totally 295 responses from both cities. We can also negate results. Let's say that we want all the responses apart from those from London. So we're going to do the same thing with data no London, and we get effectively the same thing. We get 419 responses, which altogether, if we add that to 181 responses that we got before from London, altogether that adds up to 600, which makes perfect sense. Now we can do the very same thing with the subsetting of the function. So for that, what we're going to do, we're going to wipe out all the data set and the vectors, and we're going to do the very same thing with the subset function. We can see that we have these results. So effectively, we're going to remove all the data set. Let's try that again. Remove all the data set and start over using the set.seed function. So this is all the vectors regenerated. This is the data set. And this is effectively the very same data that we had before. Now we're going to use the subset, effectively doing exactly the same thing. Data London is subsetting 181 results. Data greater than 10,000, subsetting 333 results. All of them are having more than 10,000 payment. And the same thing with combining both of them, we generate, again, 110 responses. We want to generate also the responses with from London greater than 10,000 and happiness of 50. This is how it's done, again, with the very same numbers from before, just using the subset function, not the filter function. And then we're going to do the very same thing with data London and New York. We are getting 295 responses. And if we want to rule out London, so we can do this, and we're getting the very same responses, 419 responses. And we can also see that basically it's happening also with table. Only with table, we're getting either false or true responses, right? So we can see, for instance, for data payment greater than 10,000, we're getting 333 responses, true, which is exactly what we got here. These observations, the 333, are the very same true responses here. Same thing for data London. Again, those 181 responses, and also for the combination of both of them, right? So that's going to be 110, exactly what we got here from data London and greater than 10,000. So basically, we can continue with this. Effectively, this is how we use either filter or subset to generate data working like this.